What's going on, guys? So another week, another 0-day vulnerability. Last week we discussed about the fallen MSDT one. This week is time for the Atlassian one. Okay, so cyber community is again on big stake, and I have tried to collect the threat intel repositories for this Confluence vulnerability, which is named as CVE-2022-26134, which is basically a 0-day RC kind of exploit vulnerability, and it's a no authentication based vulnerability. Okay, so you can simply put a RC exploit, and it's done. So you basically get access, and you can do whatever you want on all of those Confluence servers, which is basically open to internet. And we have seen over the week there are a lot of trends, lot of POCs available by the community, by which you can exploit those. You can try to identify what is going on and see what is basically is this vulnerability all about. Okay, so by recording this current time, so already a patch available. Confluence has made a public patch available at this time of recording, so you can go through that. And so what is the intention of today's video? So today's video, I am not too much of concerned about the POC, how this exploit works and stuff like that, because there are already beautiful articles. One is made by Volexity, so you can refer that. But my intention is to identify or show you the ways how basically you can identify if there is a server which you think might be exploited. Okay, so how do you identify? What are the detection strategies? Should you identify the logs, analyze the logs to understand if your system is also in compromised state? Okay, so before even going to do that, the little bit of timeline of this particular vulnerability. So the advisory that is dated on June 2nd, it was present in Atlassian security advisories. Okay, so I have commented all of the links in the bottom of this repository. You can refer that. But on June 2nd there was an update, okay, but which was not included what kind of nature of this vulnerability all about. Okay, so next day on 3rd June, so what has been done by Volexity, so they discovered 0-day. Okay, so I have marked down their Twitter link, the code link as well, their article, which is magnificent article. You can refer that to identify what is going on. So on 3rd, Atlassian clarified what is the affected version of that. They have added an WAF rule if you want to mitigate those things, and if you want to have an WAF signature on top of it, right? On 3rd June itself, we have seen active exploit as I was talking about. Okay, and on June 3rd itself, on 8 a.m. PDT time, so Atlassian mitigation information was updated. Okay, and after 2 hours, which is 10 a.m. at PDT, so they first released their fixed versions. Okay, so you can go to their website and you can see what exactly steps that you need to perform. Okay, and you can understand this exploit as well. Okay, so now this main thing is important, guys. So list of IOCs, just as I was talking about, so this particular vulnerability doesn't contain a very exclusive list of vulnerability that we have seen last time in Folina. Okay, because it's a 0-day, it's a very easy exploit and anyone can target it, right? But the way we have identified from the articles, from the links, what are the top notch, or we can say the top attackers. Okay, so you can identify these are the top attacker IP address that we have seen in wild, which is trying to exploit this particular vulnerability. Okay, so one thing is very important. If your logs, or if you are seeing something in your log which is this dollar then bracket symbol, then obviously there is a need to identify what is going on. Okay, so I'll show you in a second how this thing basically looks in one of the publicly available logs that anyways I have referred it again in my repo. But we have seen there are several crypto miner, Mirai botnet, and all those kind of stuff people are trying to deploy after they have successfully exploited your server. Okay, and even they are trying to get reverse shell as well. Okay, And one important thing what is also the Volexity blog refers, which is noob.jsp. It is very important for this particular exploit. Okay, so I will just show you in a second where exactly I was talking about. So now noob.jsp is a file which present by default in this Confluence services. Okay, so if I go to this location, so these are the by default files which is present. So your setup, your how the way you have installed your application might be different, but these are the files which is present by default in largely, okay, in largely Confluence this application. Okay, so now if you see anything apart from these files into your install location, you should be looking into it. Okay, and obviously remember the time frame between 2nd June and till today, maybe because we have seen huge state of exploit in 3rd June, 4th June even, and even today also we are seeing that exploit attempts. Okay, so now that is one point, okay, which is very essential. Second thing is, as I told you, look for this particular string in your all type of logs. Okay, it could be your access log, it could be your system event logs, it could be your whatever the logs that you can see inside your application. Okay, this particular application, you should go and you should check all of those logs. Okay, so okay, so let me do one thing, let me show you directly instead how this thing basically looks like. Okay, so if I show you, I have one access logs, and it's a heavy access logs. Okay, so how my repo is given this particular thing, either you should try to look for this one, right? So dollar backslash dollar, then this bracket, this curly braces. So what I'm gonna do, I'm simply gonna copy this sucker over here and I'm gonna paste it, and then I'm gonna show you. Okay, so now you see I have some attempts. Okay, so now if I show you, so this particular thing is someone is trying to open a reverse shell, and this one is someone who are trying to deploy a Mirai botnet. Okay, as I told you, right? So this is pretty simple, but many a times you won't be seeing this kind of get or post attempt inside your logs. Okay, so you will be seeing these logs in encrypted format. Okay, so it will be encoded with URL string. Okay, so what is the interesting part, guys? So instead of looking for this one, you should be looking for this particular string, which is a URL encoded version of this one. Okay, so now if I simply want to show you this particular thing of grep and then access logs, so now you see I have several attempts, right? So I have a lot of attempts that is going on inside my access logs, right? So what I can do at this point of time, you can definitely use CyberChef as well, by which you can identify what is exactly the thing that is going on. So let me do one thing, let me pull this whole thing from here to here, because here only I am seeing this particular thing off. So I am copying it and I am putting it in CyberChef. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just simply use URL encoding. So I want to decode the basic URL. So that is first step done, and I need to do another step, because you see there are still some encoding present over here. So it is like these symbols over here. So I want to do it another time. Okay, URL decode, right? Yes, so now this particular thing makes quite sense to me. So now if I just move my face, so now this particular thing will give you some kind of indication, right? So as I was telling you, this was the symbol, right? So we didn't find it raw in the logs because this was encoded, right? So after decoding, you will find these particular strings inside your log. If you find it, definitely you will be seeing this kind of execution, right? So ns lookup to this URL, right? So there are URLs also available. So this is one URL, this is one URL, this is another URL. So these are all the URLs that is someone is trying to do the ns lookup from their network, and they are trying to exploit this particular vulnerability. Okay, so this is the very easiest way by which you can identify what is going on. Okay, so next, if I want to show you, so this is one way that I told you. So again, you can also, if you have a long listing of directory, so there is a rule, not rule, I can say there is a simple script that you can also leverage. So let me open that. So this is again not written by me. So what you can do, for instead of this particular IP list, so let's assume that these are all of your logs portions. Okay, so you can simply store this particular string inside a variable, then parse it inside a for loop and search for everywhere and look for that particular variable into which you are going to store that string value. Okay, so that will give you a very depth or it's a like single shot, you can identify what is going on. Okay, next thing, again, it is very important. Okay, so now you might be having some kind of logs or files, like rather we can say the shellcode, which is looking like this kind of thing, hack.jsp. so hack is simple, just that's the nomenclature, it could be anything .jsp. Okay, but the catch is, if you see something .jsp has been written inside your directory, in this particular directory, apart from these files, you should be pivoting to your access log to find something like this one. Okay, so if you see hack.jsp, you should be looking hack_jsp.java inside your access logs. Okay, so it's simple, so I have given it, so you can try it. So first look for your access log to try for the dollar symbols, then look for your directories to identify any of the other files apart from this one, then also try to identify this this correlation. Okay, one thing also important, you can try your EQL queries if you are having your EDR solution or pulling all those logs into Elasticseam, stuff like that. So you can simply run an EQL query where you are looking for a process creation, and the process parent path should be this one, but depending upon your installation location, you should be changing this particular thing. It is not a static value, and you are looking for a process username or Confluence. Okay, so this will not give you the direct hit of the pattern of exploit, but to some extent you will get to know. Okay, so you can refer that link over here, and also you can look for this particular payload. Okay, again, IP could be anything, but you should be looking for this curl tag s, then some IP addresses .cf.sh or wget, this particular thing in the web logs. Okay, so you can try to identify that. So we have seen this kind of pattern very much when we are looking for a log4 shell detector also, right? So there is a suricata signature also present, you can leverage that as well. Last thing before we clock out for this particular session, so this particular noob.jsp is very important. Okay, so I have referenced two of the malicious noob.jsp, but the main thing is that always remember, so the legitimate noob.jsp should be around 103 bytes, right? So I have one noob.jsp with me. Let me clear up my screen. ls. Okay, so you see noob.jsp I have also having. So if I do ls minus ls stack lha over here, so you see my file is 429 bytes, which is greater than the actual one, right? So if I do a md5 sum over here of this noob.jsp, this is my md5 sum, and if I just try to reference it in VirusTotal, so you will definitely see some kind of hits, right? So let me quickly search it off. Yes, so you see this is a suspicious cell, obviously, as I was talking about. So in my repo I have referenced 2 of it. Okay, I have referenced 2 of it. So now you can easily identify 2 things. Okay, if your noob.jsp is matching any of those hash, clearly you are exploited, or even if your noob.jsp has been modified, or it is more than 103 bytes, which is another symbol of being compromised. Okay, so you can check out that, and this is one interesting thing. If you are looking for your process tree, definitely look for it. You try to look for any process tree like this, which is basically parent process as Java, which is launching a bash, then again launching a Python, in again bash. Okay, so in a nutshell, a bash process which is spawned by a Python or whose father was another bash one. Okay, so that is a hint for suspicion for you. Okay, so these are overall the detection procedure. Not, I would say that it is a direct detection procedure, but this is a process of analysis. Okay, if you are seeing something bad is going on, or even your Confluence server is open to internet on these and these dates, you should take these steps as analysis steps to identify if there is any suspicious thing going on, or you have been targeted and you have been successfully exploited. Okay, so the last thing before we clock out, so there is mitigation plan. You can directly refer from Atlassian released versions from here. If you cannot do that, they have a workaround as well. Refer that, apply that. Third step, definitely you should do that, like an IP whitelisting. Okay, or even put your Confluence server behind at least a VPC or a VPN just to reduce the attack surface. Okay, if your Confluence server is in-house or it is internal service, you are not so much of your risk exposure get reduced automatically. Okay, so I would just paste this repository in my description, in my video description, so feel free to use that. And if you have any queries, if you have any comments, feel free to post that in the comment area, so I'll be more than happy to answer your queries, and I'll try to update this particular repository very timely way as I see more and more Intel things, and I tend to work on more instant response around these servers. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. I hope you have enjoyed and learned something, and now you can go back to your SOC and you can try to identify whether you have been exploited or not. Okay, so I'll catch you guys next time. Stay healthy, stay safe.